What's up, guys? Uh, Thank you for tuning in real fast. This video right here, I want to talk about the lifers that I left behind. The lifers that I left behind in jail. Uh, I can't forget them. I always think about them, and this is another reason why I'm motivated and I do these videos to inspire people. These videos are because of where I came from and the things that I went through in the dark times. So the lifers that I want to reach out to, and I know you're watching. Once this reaches you, man, I just want to let you know that I think about you every day. And I have three certain people who I think about that motivate me to keep on going and try to reach out to the kids and hopefully to their kids and to reach out to them in a dark time that they're in right now. But with lifers, you can't really call it how they wake up every day in the cell or in the joint that they're in right now. They wake up in different moods all the time because it's just, you wake up, have dreams, and then you're in the situation where you wake up and in a cell. It's very discouraging. So one person I want to reach out to is Jimmy, my friend Jimmy Alonso. Man, I love you, man. I think about you all the time, and it motivates me. And I just want to let you know, man, you're coming home. Like, there's no limit, man. Don't let nothing, no negativity get in your mind. And it really touches my heart because he was someone who I looked up to all the time and who I'd always talk to. And just to let you know, man, that your family's waiting for you. You're going to come home. Believe that. And sometimes patience, in the midst of patience, it seems like it takes forever, man. But once you come home, all this is just gonna be wiped out. It's gonna be different, man. You're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel inspired and motivated. And I just want to encourage you, man, just to keep on pushing, man. To be yourself. Love you, man. Second person I want to talk about is my friend Brian from Lompoc. So this one right here is gonna get a little deep. He was my cellie, and he was looking at life. I think, I'm not sure if it was 25 to life, but he was looking at life. He's in prison right now, and he's getting ready for his next appeal. I just want to share a conversation that I had with my friend Brian from Lompoc. He was telling me over the phone. I had talked to him maybe I believe it was a year back. I believe it was 2 years ago. I had a call from him. It's been a while. I haven't reached out to him, but he's been moving around. I think he's somewhere not too far, still in California. We had a conversation over the phone about his son. He's been in jail since his son was a baby, and his son right now, I believe, maybe he's got to be around 10 years old, maybe 9 or 10, but he's older. But when I was there with him back in 2012, his son was only, I believe, 3 years old or 2 years old. He was a baby, but now it's been years. It's been, how many years is that? Right now it's 2020. So 2012 was about 8 years ago. I was in jail with him, and he was looking at life, and they ended up breaking him off. But we had a conversation over the phone, and he told me like this: "Hey, Frankie, man, I'm glad you're home. I'm glad you got out." He's like, I just want to talk to you about this real quick." He said that he called his son. He had called his son previous from calling me. At that time, he had just called his son right before, and he said that his son got on the phone with him and told him, "Dad, you need to come home already. I need you. When are you coming home? You've been in there too long. Come home already." And I'm sure it touched his heart because he told me like this. He goes, "Frankie, my son told me come home already. Like, they need to let you come home already. You've been there too long. You need to come home and be a father to me, be a dad to me." He's reaching out to his dad saying, "I need you." And he told me straight from heart to heart. He told me, "Frankie, how do I respond to that? What do I tell my son? What do I tell him? What do I say to that? How do I respond?" Me personally, I didn't even have an answer to that. I'm like, man, it hit me. It hit me. I was like, what response can you tell your son that who's telling you, "Dad, you need to come home to me already. Be a father to me. I need you. I don't have any father figure who can guide me and to mold me to be a man and teach me to do things and be a father to me." And he told me like this: "Frankie, what do I say to that? How do I respond to that?" He's like, "Right now, my sentence is life. I'm doing life." He goes, "How do I respond to that? What do I tell my son who's asking me to come home already?" And he's 10 years old, asking his dad, "Come home already. It's been too long." A couple months into coming home, I wanted to do something. So what I told Brian, I said, hey, can you get me your address where your son's at? I'm gonna buy something and I'm gonna take it to your son, and it's gonna be from you. So I told Brian, send me the address, and he was already in prison at the time. He had got sent upstate. So he called me back, sent the address, and got in contact with his kid's mom and saying, hey, Frankie's gonna go to the house. So his son, I've never met his son before. This is the first time walking up to the house. I ended up getting something, and I walked up to his house, and I seen his son coming out, and I remember seeing him through the visiting windows, and he was just a little baby. But when I walked up to him, I seen him walking out, and I was just staring at him like, man, he got so big like in a short period of time. And this, keep in mind that his son has no clue who I am, and he just, in his mind, and it really made me feel good, because it made his day knowing, like, he looked at me and he said, thank you for the toy that I bought him. I said, this is from your dad. And he looked at me like with this joy the look on his face was like he was happy. He was like, man, this guy was with my dad. Like, it meant a lot to him, and that just made my day. And I was like, man, I felt good to do something like that, knowing that Brian, he reached out to me. He's like, man, I appreciate what you did, man. I owe you. And I'm like, no, you don't owe me nothing, man. Like, I'm doing this because, like, I want to continue to just, like, that's why I'm trying to motivate kids and motivate people, and knowing that, like, no matter what, in a dark place like that, things can happen and things can make happen. All you gotta do is reach out and say, hey, man, you know what? I need you to do something for me. Like, my kid's birthday, or it's my son's birthday, or it's my daughter's, whatever, any type of situation like that. You just reach out to the right people, and people are willing to do something like that. The third person I want to reach out to is my friend Jason. My friend Jason, he ended up getting, I believe, 45 to life, but man, he's a good, humble person, good man of faith. And me and him in jail, we got really deep in talking about God and our perspective of God. And I remember him, he used to come to my cell at the window. He was on the other program because they only let certain cells out at a time in the day room. There was only a block of 8 cells, and only 4 came out at a time, 3-man cells, 2-man cells. And we were only came out for 2 hours a day in that cell right there in the mods. We get on the topic about God and everything, and he was looking at life and I was looking at life. So we'd get real deep in the conversation and get deep into the book and say, man, this is what life's about. Because when you think about your life and the end, death is hardly like a topic that people touch on. But I'm gonna make another video about my perspective of death and how I view death. It's gonna get really deep into that one. But my main topic on this video is to these lifers that I left behind. Not left behind, but I never forgot that I was with them, and to reach out to them and let them know that they're still on my mind, and I'm gonna continue to do these videos and try to motivate people because of them, and they're a main reason why I just have a good positive attitude every day, because I know they're gonna come home. And to Jason, I just want to let you know, man, I hope this reaches you. Just don't feel like you're falling. Don't feel like you're down and out, because this is not the end. And I know when it's a difficult situation where you're at right now, to see that, to say that this is it, this is all it's gonna come to. But there's a future. We've talked about it. I remember we got deep into it. We always talked about this, that in the end, the future to come is gonna be forever. It's gonna be something that you're gonna look back and be like, I don't even know if we're gonna remember this, but I remember the times in the dark places that you're in right now. But you're having to have permanent joy. You're gonna have permanent joy, permanent peace, and it's gonna come faster than we think. All these things that are happening are all set in place. It's already written. It's just unraveling, and we talked about this. You already know, man. I just want to encourage you, man. Like that verse we always talked about, man. Though my righteous one may have fallen 7 times, he will get back up. I encourage you, man. You're a strong man of faith, and I got more faith because of you and the conversations that we had. You know, I know I'm not 100% perfect. I have flaws. I have struggles. I have a lot of things I need to work on. I'm not perfect. I'm not even 100% there yet, but I know that's where I'm going to be. And I know that's where you're going to be, and everybody else too. This is all unraveling. There's more to come, and things are going to happen, and people will see, and people will know. on that topic we touched on. I just want to reach out to him. The last person I want to talk about, I'm not going to say his name, but I remember he used to come up to me and tell me about, he used to tell me, hey man, you got time, just read the Bible. So I would get into it at night, late at night or early in the morning, clean the cell, wash up, brush my teeth, eat a little something, and read. So that was another thing my mom would tell me too, son, read the Bible, read the Bible, read the Bible. And I never really did it, but when I got to jail, looking at 15 Alive, 23-hour lockdown, there was nothing else to do but read. And I had a lot of books that I could have read, and a lot of homies would tell me, hey, read this book, check out this book. And I'm like, if I'm gonna read something, I'm gonna take my time on something. I wanna read something real, like something that's gonna benefit me. Like, so everything I would read would just basically, I would read it as if it was talking about me. Like, all throughout the book, it talks about a fool. And I really believe that's who I am. And everything, a sinner, and the least of the least, that's me. That's who I am. And I accept that. And I'm not gonna fake the funk. I'm not gonna do this and that and act like I'm perfect and talk about God and say, oh yeah, I'm 100% in it, because the honest truth, I have a lot of flaws. I have a lot of things I need to work on, but I acknowledge the fact that I believe in him and I know the truth 1,000%. I'm sure of it. But this guy came up to my cell and he told me his whole story about how he went to jail, and he got deep into the exact details of what he did. And I told him, hey man, I don't want to hear this, because honestly, I know you trust me to keep a secret between me and you, but he got convicted. But I don't want to put his name out there, but I just want to tell this because this is deep. This is what I want to share with you. He started talking to me about detail what he did to this person, and ended up basically that man is no longer living right now. But he opened up to me and he was kind of down, and it just hit him hard, and they were giving him life for this. And he looked at me and he's like, man, and this guy too, he had a strong faith. He believed in God, but the situation he was in, he was like, man, how did I get here? It was too late. So he looked at me and he was discouraged. He goes, Frankie, after what I did, do you think God will forgive me? He told me like that. And you know what I told him? I got up out of my seat. I said, hang on. And I went straight to the door and I was talking to him closely so he could understand. I go, listen, this book that we've been reading, I go, I'm not perfect, man. I go, but I noticed something in this book. Every single person that it talks about, every single story in this book, they all messed up. They all did something. They all fell. They all sinned. They all did something that decreased their level of, I don't know how to say this, but like their level in the race, or however you want to call it. There's murder, adultery, stealing, all that type of stuff, any topic. I go, look, and in the end, every single person in the book, it says that he forgave them. I go, everybody that followed him while he was here in this book, what it states, they all fell. Every single one of them, and he still chose them, and he forgave them. I go, the Apostle Paul killed Christians, killed people who follow God. I told him, and I looked at him, I go, you don't think he'll forgive you? This guy killed Christians, this guy did this guy did that, murder, all this, and you're telling me, do you think God will forgive me? And I go, you don't think he'll forgive you? And then he looked up at me like with this hope, like something sparked in me, like, man, that's true. I go, everything in this book, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, like I noticed and I catch it and I'm reading it, I caught it. Everyone slipped, man. Everyone fails. Everyone is not perfect. So if there's people that portray themselves to say, you need to do this, or you need to clean up this, you need to stop sinning, no disrespect, but to open your eyes and you realize, humble yourself and don't point the finger at nobody and talk about nobody saying, oh, you need to do this or you did that, or talk about people because you bring judgment upon yourself. The way you judge in life, you're going to be judged in the same way you judge people. So I told him like this. I go, look, this guy right here killed Christians. This guy killed this, in this book, this guy killed this person, and they were forgiven. I go, you don't think he'll forgive you? And that just made me feel good to tell him that. I'm like, man, like, this guy needs to hear this. Like, look, man, I don't care what you do, what you've done, or what you're going to do, what you plan on doing. No matter what, there's hope. And if you have another chance at life, you wake up another day and you wake up in the cell and say, "Oh, I'm still here." That's another chance. That's something that you need to understand. You get another chance at life. There's another way. There's another time to turn it around. And up until death, you have that chance to keep on trying, keep on getting up. Don't give up. Try again. Boom. Get up. Another day. Anything that happened yesterday, happened an hour ago, happened 10 minutes ago that you did, that you're getting down on yourself right now, everybody that's watching this video, it's done. Don't hold that against you. Don't let that weigh you down. Get up, keep going, keep pushing, keep striving. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. So I want to show this part of this song that motivated me. And every time I hear this part of the song, it makes me think about these lifers and it makes me want to keep going. So here it goes.
Type shift. I mean, be true to yourself. Don't be cool for your friends and disregard what you feel. Cause your heart to melt. Yeah, if you push that shit down deep enough, then it will melt. I know that you're surrounded in a complicated atmosphere, but hold your ground, kid. Keep your blessings counted, cause that throwaway your life shit is so unfounded. I know that you're surrounded in a complicated atmosphere, but hold your ground, kid. Keep your money counted. If you don't got the shit, then you can't live without it, right? Yeah.